¿Qué pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. NBA Live is probably coming back. Now, to refresh your memory about NBA Live, let's talk about the beginning. NBA Live was probably the most popular basketball video game out there for a very long time. When E3 used to be a really big deal and they would show off new graphics, NBA Live was usually one of the primary ways that they were showing off the brand new graphics in video games, lighting, sweat effects. This was how people got really excited, and I remember being a little kid playing NBA Live. Not NBA 2K. It was around NBA 2K10 when players started to switch to NBA 2K, and that's the exact same time that NBA Live decided to stop making games. There's a lot of debate on what the exact reason NBA Live stopped making games, but at the end of the day, NBA 2K took full advantage and started making really good games, and got to the point where they started making Park, and this is when NBA 2K franchise started blowing up, and then my team, and as you can imagine, 2K was very successful. Then NBA Live tried to come back. Back with NBA Live 14, they wanted to give it one more shot and come back into the gaming industry. What happened? Well, from NBA Live 14 to NBA Live 19, they gave it the old college try. They did everything they could in terms of graphics, in terms of gameplay. They even added brand new game modes, and yet it just wasn't as popular as the NBA 2K franchise. They were never able to overcome 2K's hold on the gaming industry in terms of basketball, and never it was able to become successful. It was the only sport that EA couldn't take over 2K in popularity. So what was going on? Why did they give up? So to remind you, back in 2019, they announced that they would not make an NBA Live 20, that it was not going to happen. Now, the reason for it, again, was a failure to get the major audience of 2K basketball into NBA Live, so they refused to play it, the lack of sales of the game in general, because it was the exact same price as NBA 2K, and then people just thought, why would I play Live if 2K is right there? And I would just straight up say that it was worse than 2K on every single level. The gameplay just wasn't that good. It was stiff, was not anywhere comparable to where 2K was at that time, especially NBA 2K20, which was probably the most popular 2K game ever. So NBA Live dropped this post, and I'll read it to you one more time, even though we've talked about it before. On October 29th, 2018, EA Sports NBA Live said this on Twitter. For some time, we've been putting in reps on our console basketball games. We're excited by our progress, but remain hyper ambitious. So we're not going to release NBA Live 20 this season. Alongside the NBA and the NBPA, we have our sights set on creating something fresh for the next generation of players and platforms. We know we need to earn our future every step of the way, so we're taking time to get it right for our players. We promise to check back regularly with updates. Until then, we will be on the grind. This kind of caused a ruckus in the 2K and basketball community, because some people actually liked NBA Live and played it a lot. Other people thought, oh my gosh, this could be a really big deal because they could be making a game that's going to be way better than 2K, and I was more of a doomer. I thought that this was the end of NBA Live, and I personally thought they were never going to come back. Now, who's right? I have a feeling that NBA Live is coming back. The most important thing is to read specific quotes from this paragraph. First, they said they want a new approach. Now, that could mean a lot of things, but to me it sounds like they don't want to do the same game, basically trying to copy 2K anymore. They want to do their own thing. The next thing they said is that this is specifically for the next generation of gamers. So instead of making yearly releases, they want to focus on the brand new graphics to the PlayStation 5, on brand new engines, and focus on the next generation, what that means for gaming, which means they're trying to be ambitious about it. They also said they wanted to get it right, which means they're probably going to take a lot of time on it. But the one thing is that they promised to check back regularly with updates. Now, that was back in 2019. It is 2023, so we're almost 4 years to this point, and still nothing. Before you get all worried about that, we have to remember that NBA Live does have the advantage here, okay? 2K is stuck on a yearly gaming cycle. Let me explain. So video games take 4 to 5 years to make nowadays, at least a AAA video game from ground up. 2K's stuck. They can't make a video game from ground up. They have to release them every single year because they're the 2K franchise where they release yearly updates. You can't go NBA 2K23 and then just not say anything for 4 years and then make NBA 2K27. That's not how their games work. They make a game every year because they sell. So instead of being able to make a game from ground up, they have to reuse assets and go game to game and make kind of mediocre games. The exact same issues that Madden has for EA. Because they can't create a game ground up, they release trash reused assets every single year for Madden, and that's why no one likes those games. NBA Live was like, okay, we're doing the same thing with Live. Let's just take a step back and rethink things. Use our advantage of being able to have years and years of working on a brand new game and then come back and destroy 2K. That's the plan. But how is NBA Live going to approach this? What are they going to do? And that is the main question. What should we expect from NBA Live in the future in the next coming years? Because like I said, it takes 4 to 5 years to make a game, and we're approaching 4 years since them saying they're making a new game. So by next year, we at least need to hear something. If we hear nothing, I wouldn't be surprised if this project is never coming out. What should NBA Live do? First, just don't make it like 2K. If you're gonna make it like 2K, it's gonna fail because first, that's what you did last time and it failed. And second, people are already not wanting to play 2K, so why would you copy them? First theory, they can make the game free. I've talked about this a lot in multiple videos, so I'll just keep this short. If you make the game free, you're gonna have a way bigger player base, and it's a direct competition to 2K. Do you want to pay to play 2K or do you want to play NBA Live for free? That's what PES tries to do against FIFA, and it kind of works because there are people that play PES. That being said, if the game is truly better, if they took, 5-6 years to make a really solid game, I'd buy it. As long as it's clearly better than 2K and has things that makes me want to buy it, yes, I will drop $70 on a brand new NBA Live game if it's clearly better than NBA 2K. I think most people would agree to that. But it's all going to depend on what kind of game. They keep saying they want to be ambitious about it. Well, what do you mean? What are you going to make? Like I said, copying NBA 2K is honestly just not an option at all. So what are you going to do? Are you going to make it only a park video game where basically it's like an arcade game where you only play 3v3 park or maybe 5v5 rec with randoms or teammates? If you make a game solely based on that, that could be a pretty good experience. What about NBA Street? EA Big used to make pure NBA Street video games and also NFL Street, FIFA Street. These games were extremely successful, but maybe that was a product of the times, and maybe today people would just consider it cringe and not fun. I look at Volta in FIFA and I don't see a lot of people freaking out about how good Volta is in FIFA anymore because it's just not as popular anymore. Now, I do think that the street games kind of had such a crazy arcade feel to them that they were fun, but when you look at the game like NBA Playgrounds, people don't think that game is intriguing or fun at all, and people aren't buying it or playing it. So an NBA Street game, I feel like today would not succeed as well as it did back in the 2000s. What if they make something entirely new? What if you make some kind of game mode that has nothing to do with anything ever made today, and it's so crazy and ridiculous and different that people fall in love with it? Now, in my opinion, this is the smartest idea. I think people are tired of the NBA Street series. I think people are tired of the NBA 2K series and what they've done today. And the smartest thing to do is try to make something completely brand new that no one's ever tried before, and that would work. Now, what that is, I have no clue. Stupid. There's a reason why I'm not a game developer, because I don't know what you could do that would make a 2K game, an NBA game, so different and revolutionary that would make everybody want to start playing it. I don't know what you could do, but maybe EA Sports is thinking of something that will change the game, and it could work. Let's talk about what can you improve off of 2K and NBA Live that would make people want to buy the game in the first place. I already mentioned making the game free, but first of all, graphics. I'm not saying the NBA 2K graphics are bad. I think everyone agrees probably the graphics are the most impressive thing about 2K, but yes, face scans are great in 2K, but I think body scans and how bodies look are terrible. I think the lighting in the game is really bad. At least compared to NBA 2K14, lighting, the physics on the jerseys and stuff are terrible compared to how it used to be. On top of that, animations. 2K is an animations based game, so it creates a very choppy, choreographed way of playing the game. What if they make it a physics based engine instead, kind of like how FIFA is? Like, yes, there's obviously animations in FIFA, but it's free flowing animations. Let's say you're going to start an animation but someone cuts you off, your body and player will change based off of the situation. If you do it like that, the game would be a lot more interesting. What if the ball had physics on it, so if you try to cross over in front of someone, you don't go through the ball anymore, you can steal the ball? If they make it like that, it'll feel a lot more natural and real, and you'll want to play the game more than 2K. What if they made massive detailed worlds and courts and things that no one's ever seen before that would make you think that the game is at least a little more interesting, and maybe brand new game modes that no one's ever seen before? What if they remove the loot box system like how Ultimate Team does in FIFA and My Team does in 2K and made it a more grind, respectable way of doing it? It will be a lot more interesting for new players. And then what about pro clubs? So 2K has Pro-Am, and yes, it is a ranked game mode, but it's not real ranked. They have, first of all, only a couple hours where you can even play ranked, and even when you play, it's not like an official, bronze to silver to gold to platinum like diamond, like everyone else in the world does. Instead, it's the more you play, the more your rank goes up on the leaderboard, and that's just not interesting. Like, it's basically whoever plays the most is number one in the world, rather than who is the best players, like how Rocket League does it. There's a really perfect way of doing ranked. I think FIFA does a great job of doing pro clubs where they have divisions. You start at division 10, if you keep winning, you get points, and you can go up to 9, 8, all the way up to 1, and then you can win division 1 title. And what would be really cool is if, let's say, everyone that wins division 1 title can end up in an own private league of the best teams in the world playing in their own rank system. That's how 2K should have done it, and they've never done it. NBA Live can be the official, like, competitive NBA game that would make it a lot more interesting to watch and play. And then on top of that, remove the 60 overall VC system and make it just a grind system. FIFA does a great job because you start off as an 80 overall. So the day you start off competitive, and obviously a 99 overall makes you better, but not substantially better where it's not fair. And on top of that, FIFA doesn't force you to buy VC to be competitive. You can just start off, and the more you play, the more skill points you get and the better you become. It's a more honest system of playing the game. I think a lot more people would like to play NBA Live if it was like that. Now, I have to worry you guys. As I told you, I'm a doomer. I don't think this game is coming out at all. At least I thought so. First of all, there's been no update on this game for 4 years. I mean, I know that they said they're gonna take their time on this, but you haven't said a word, not even like a slow motion trailer of just the logo, nothing. That's a little worrisome. On top of that, you see EA Sports having to deal with FIFA issues. Like, they just lost the rights to FIFA, so now it's going to be EA like soccer instead of FIFA. The NBA Live Twitter account has not posted anything since Kobe's passing in 2020, and before that, it was literally just the NBA Live post in 2019, so they've posted nothing. You got to remember that when they announced this, in 2019, COVID hit right after that, so maybe they abandoned the project and never came back to it. The only bright spot I can tell you is that back on March 10th of this year, NBA Live dropped an update. Now, I don't know what the update was. It was probably a roster update, if anything. But they did drop an update to the game, which means they still work on it and they still pay attention to it and they still think about it. So it's still on their mind. There's still some good things that can happen from this. But I am a little worried because there's been no updates about a new game in a while. The more bright spot is that NBA Live is getting more attention now. YouTubers are starting to play live over 2K a lot more lately, and it's getting views, which is a good sign. And NBA Live did a lot of good things that these videos are kind of pointing out. First of all, women can play with men in park at the same time, which for whatever reason 2K is terrified of doing. I don't know why. They have the rank system, which was at least better than Pro-Am. It's not great, but it was better than Pro-Am. The contest system, like the defensively, was way better than 2K. You started off as a 75 overall with skill points, so at least you weren't terrible at the start of the game. And it had like real locations, so like you could play on Venice Beach, which NBA 2K never did. There was some really cool stuff that NBA Live did that people are noticing. I still think the gameplay is super stiff, and that's why I never played it. I personally did not like it, but I could see why other people liked NBA Live a lot more than 2K, and that's why it's getting a lot more popularity now. The basketball gaming industry is at an all-time low, and if there's anyone that can save it and compete with 2K, it's NBA Live, because if they make a banger game that they worked 4, 5, 6 years on, it forces 2K to change, and that's a great thing. I'm hoping for NBA Live to be an absolute banger. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.